Hi everybody, I'm Nettie K, and it's a little bit dark in here. I know. Oh my gosh, is it ever? But I wanted you to. I'm going to sit down tonight, and I'm going to paint a little still life. And I thought it'd be fun to be able to see this still life. I hope you guys are all doing well tonight. Meanwhile, I've got this little lamp right here, so that it has kind of a single direction light, and that's what I'm trying to do, so that I can have a few shadows to work from. When we work from photographs or out in the middle of light where there is just no shadow at all, at noon, or there are certain times of the days that just doesn't cast any shadow. Middle of the summer, for instance, at noon, you don't have anything interesting to paint. And it isn't the subject, it is the light. It's all about the light. So I hope you'll stay with me right through to the end, and we'll learn how to paint something really cool. I absolutely love pears. Now these are getting a little bit gnarly. My husband always tells me I'm constantly buying things and then not eating them. I do have some really good fake ones, but I still like working with the real ones too, don't you? Yeah. So grab some stuff. Grab some stuff at the produce market, and just set them up with one light and get some good shadows, light and shadows going. And I am a little bit too much in the dark, but who cares? I look younger that way. Yeah. All right. So I've got a little beautiful dish. I'm going to pull this up so you can see that a little bit better. Well, maybe you can't. There's not much light in this zone. But this is a gorgeous dish that has kind of an interesting little part on the bottom of it. And then on top of that, I've got a red pear, which is really getting mushy. Oh my goodness, really mushy. And a couple of regular pears. And so I'm going to turn those around and really kind of examine what I want to do with this. I like the idea of having one pear being a different color. And, generally I would do just three things, not four. But if I've got something a little bit offside, then it doesn't look so bad. What you don't want to do is separate things right down the middle of your canvas and put something right in the middle. Ooh, like I just did. Okay, now you want to have, for instance, my plan here is, I always have a plan, don't I? Not really. Okay, my plan is to put the pears in the dish off center, and I haven't quite decided, what is my main point of focus. I really should get in there and do that. I've got my little palette down here with a few different things. I'm just going to grab a little bit of color. I'm not worried about color right now. I'm not worried about anything. I'm just thinking about tonal value and a little bit of shape right here. And then I have the little, I'm just testing out a few things to see how the composition is going to work. Now I could choose to flip it up this way and do something like that with a pear right here and leaving a bunch of negative space. That might be an interesting way of doing something. But I think I really am going to kind of keep to my regular zone here. I just want to make it bigger. I want to make it bigger. I want to make it, I'm going to say this thing is about, let me see, about hand span. If I'm doing what's called, life size. I don't want to make it bigger than it is. Well, sometimes I do. But I'm going to do this, and then I want to put this pear is kind of going in that direction. I've got something going this way. I want to be able to fit them in. Maybe I should paint the pears first and then paint the bowl later. That's a good idea. Nobody's going to see this bowl, not that I know of. So really, it doesn't really matter too much if I get it exactly the right size. I just need to make sure it doesn't look, that it looks plausible, right? Now I want to make sure I don't have a glare here too. Is that a little bit better? All right, let's see. I've got the camera quite a bit closer, obviously. So now I want to get also a little bit of my thinner. Got kind of a weird setup here. And before I really get started, what I want to think about is taking some white. That's kind of crazy. Not too much white. And I want to take a little bit of this burnt sienna. And I'm going to do what I normally do, only because we're painting something that is orange. This time I want to take my brush. I'm going to just completely trash that. What am I doing, lady? I'm going to put in a little bit of this brown color. I'm kind of creating a big mess, aren't I? But you can see I'm just putting a very thin, like we always do. Do we always do this? We like working on a toned canvas. And so I put the canvas in this kind of a middle-y tone, a little bit of teal in there, teal and brown, and it creates this classic looking, you know, almost instant background. I'm painting way off to the side. I can barely reach my canvas. That's all right. It's more important that you be able to see it than for me to be comfortable, for crying out loud. So, been a busy week. Been a very busy week. I'm assuming you guys are just over the top super busy too with now the Christmas holidays. Oh, Christmas holidays are on us. Got a big concert on the weekend. And I am featured artist at the gallery. Oh, I was last week. Who knows this week? And so I have to be down there on Friday night and Saturday night. So come down to Gallery 55 and visit me if you get a chance on one of those days. Okay, so now I've got all that. I am not sure that that light is going to cause a problem. That's all right. This actually looks quite smooth, and it doesn't look like that on the camera, on the monitor. Got a towel now, and then I'm going to begin to take my smaller brush, and we're going to restate what's happening with this painting, okay, with this setup. I like to overlap something if I could. Okay, so now I'm going to take my teal, and I'm going to put the side of the bucket. I'm slightly above it as well, so that'll be different. And I want to try to swing myself a nice ellipse. Now, when we're doing ellipses, everybody, do you ever have a problem where it looks like a big circle rather than a flattened circle? An ellipse is a circle that is in perspective, which means it's oval. Okay, it's not exactly an oval, but it has, you just flatten it out, right? But what you don't want to do is have the corners of, you don't want to have corners. You don't want to have corners, hello. You don't want to make it into a football. So a lot of the times I will look at what I'm wanting to paint, and I figure out how far it is from the back of the dish from this point to this point, okay? That's the main thing there. I figure out where it is from there, and then I will, I don't cross it right in the middle, but I'll go like this. And then I put a cross in the middle like that. And that way I can see if it's relatively even. If it isn't, then I need to fix it like that. Okay. But I don't want it to look like a football, so I want to make sure that I kind of have the letter C at the end of that cross. All right, put the letter C right in here, so you don't have a point at the end. And then I'm going to come in and I'm going to look at this bowl again. I'm going to look at the top of the bowl to where the next thing comes down, and I'm going to give it a little bit of a mark there and say, all right, that's about where the next section starts. And then I'll come over here and pull that down that way. Okay, oh, hope you can see it. Pull it down this way. There. Now that looks right. Then I come down from there and figure out how far it is down to the bottom of the bowl, which is the little stand that it's on. And then I'll come up and I think, okay, well, that's the middle, that's the middle. Better try to make sure it's in the middle. And then I'm going to pull that down, realizing that the bottom is also round. So I'm going to give it a little smile like that. And a little bit of a smile. Does that look fairly basically? Yeah, hopefully it is. Okay. And then I know my light is coming from over here. Okay, that's really exciting. Put a big arrow in your painting. So I know that the dark part of this bowl is going to be on that side, right there. And there's definitely going to be a shadow down here. Well, I can see it, and it's very dark all the way around here. But then I'm going to put in, I'm going to come in like this. And then I know that the light hopefully is shining across this thing. And it's going to hit this side of the bowl. Hopefully I can get that out. So it's going to hit this, the light is going to hit on that side. Let's wipe out our little cross to start with. Kind of looks like a teal glass, doesn't it? I'm going to go through a lot of paper towels. Make sure you get good paper towels. The good ones, the best ones are the, right now are the Viva signature towels. That's also an Albertsons brand, but that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Viva signature towels. They are like cloth, or just use cloth. Yeah, some of the old, tidy whities that are getting worn out. That's a good idea. Okay, so now I have, this is going to be very, very dark down here. And then it'd be nice to put some pears in, wouldn't it? Okay, so let's get into some of this orange. I'm seeing that there's something overlapping here. And I want to put in kind of this. This is overlapping. I got to get my, I'm just trying to get the placement, you guys. So we'll do a simple pear over here. That'd be good. You can see it. Yeah, there we go. So I'm going to just kind of give it its little, we'll separate it out. And then I'm going to put in the top part of it. So let's do that first. I'm going to have, basically, I'm looking at the pear going like this, saying, okay, it's sort of starts out round, and then it has a little hat on the top, right? Now, it isn't exactly a ball with stuff on it, with a hat on it. It's, you got to look at it and say, all right, what am I really looking at here? Rather than, just painting a ball with a hat on it. No, you got to think about, look at what you're painting. Really pick that thing up and just say, okay, what in the world is the shape of that? What is that? It's got all kinds of weird parts to it. It's kind of yellow on one side. It's greenish. It's got some red on it. Make sure you don't just generalize and just say, oh, I know how to draw a pear. I'm going to draw a pear. That doesn't work. You can sort of fake it, but it looks cartoony. So you want to be careful with that. Okay. I just realized I picked up red. That was fun. I thought I had my orange on. So now I'm going to come in and remove the little lines in there like that. And I've got a little bit of I want to tilt it a little bit. So I'm going to, the paper towel is really a great tool. You can just do almost anything with it. Now I'm going to come back in here and I'm going to get into, maybe I'll pick up a little bit of yellow ochre because I really did it with that red. Okay, now our main pear in the bowl is kind of squat and it comes down like that. I'm going to keep it in the bowl and it has a little hat on it, kind of like that. And there's a red one that really overlaps. Okay, really overlaps like that. And we'll get that put in here like this. Okay. Ooh, oh, you know what? I want to bring this down just a little bit. You can adjust it as you go. You say, oh, I don't have room for my pears. Okay, well, make your bowl bigger. Just make your bowl bigger. That works. All right, now I want to get a little bit of my white paint out. And, oh, I already did. Never mind. Okay, and I'm going to get some gold, and I'm going to get some white, maybe a little bit of my transparent orange. I love transparent orange. That's got to be my favorite color. Okay, and I'm going to come over here and I'm going to figure out this, this pear has got kind of a yellowish color here. It's got I'm reshaping it a little bit, you guys, like that. And then I'm going to put, just so you can see it, like that. Now, every three-dimensional object has got 3 tonal values. We're going to keep this nice and simple, I hope. I can't do anything simple, but I'm going to try. Every three-dimensional object has at least 3 tonal values, a dark, a middle tone, and a light. That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about tonal values. And so in order for me to do that, I'm going to also add a dark color. Oh, I do have a dark color. What am I thinking? I've got this teal color, which is extremely powerful. And I'm going to add that to a little bit of a brown color. Let's see. See if I can get a dark value. That's all I'm worried about. I'm not worried, but I'm thinking about. And I'm going to put this, the light's coming from over here. So I'm going to make this part of the pear in the dark, just like I did with this. You know, it's the wrong color, but who cares? If you get the tonal value right, then you can fix the color later, okay? Oh, why don't you just do it right in the first place? Well, I don't know. It's just one of those things. I like sometimes to do it in a monochrome, which is just like middle tone dark, in a one color, mono meaning one. But now I'm going to get into some red with a little bit of my transparent orange. And I'm going to come up on this side. I'm going to add a little bit of red color there, like that. And then I'm going to go in with the yellow, which is, well, the gold ochre with a little bit of that, transparent orange. And we're going to come up and give it a little bit of a little shoulder pad right there. And this is going to look better when I put the background on it, because right now you can barely see it. You can barely see what's going on with this pear. Okay, because the background is still in the middle. So now if I come in and I go, all right, I'm going to take some dark brown and some teal. This is as dark, really, really, really dark. Okay, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to give you this beautiful background color. There's a lot of different ways of doing this. Okay, this needs to come out. It's a little bit bigger. So it's always a matter of adjusting. You know, don't get your shirt in a knot. It's just paint. You can do all kinds of things and just manipulate it like clay. You know, when you make something out of clay and it doesn't look exactly right, you don't panic. You just move it around a little bit and fix it, right? Well, that's what you do with paint too. So I've got, now you can really see that pear, can't you? Okay, now I'm going to come over here and give this a little bit of a shadow with a burnt sienna with a little bit of teal. And I'm going to put that shadow over here. Look how beautiful that shadow is. It just really makes that thing sit up. Yeah. So this morning, you guys, I barely slept last night because Oh my goodness, I woke up with like an abscessed tooth. Isn't that fun? And on the middle of all these things that we're doing, I ended up with an abscessed tooth. So I had to run off to the dentist and get antibiotics and do all that kind of fun stuff. So it's been a busy day to say the least. All right. Now I've got this kind of backed up, and then I will make a little bit of a, this thing is just sitting in a shadow right now. That's okay. I just wanted you to be able to see it. So now I'm going to come in and I'm going to darken this up a little bit with the same, oh my goodness, I'm still doing my theme song. I don't have COVID, no, just been singing too much in my choir. So I'm going to go like this, and we're going to darken that up again. Darken, darken, because this side is the dark side of the pear, like that. And then I'm going to kind of, anything that's round, you guys, also has a soft edge to it. So we want to make sure that it's not too hard. So we're not doing a pear cutout, you know. We want to make sure that it's a little bit better than that. All right, now I'm going to get some, a little bit more. This is a bright transparent yellow because I've got quite a bit of muted color. Time to order some new paints too. I mean, not that I don't have a lot of paints from my dad, but there are certain colors that I'm running out of already. So now I'm going to come in with a, let's see, here's my new brushes. I had a couple of new brushes. Well, evidently the cat thought they were a toy. Okay, so I'm going to wipe that off. I'm going to grab this one, and I'm going to come in with some gold transparent yellow with a little bit of white, and this will really punch it up. This will punch it up. Look at that. Wow, that almost glows in the dark. So I'm thinking, where are my lights? And I'm going to add that to it. This is just a very big, bold jump with our tonal values so that you can see it a little bit better. So I'm just kind of, I'm not petting the dog, I'm painting. So I don't want to keep hitting the same spot over and over. I'm just kind of getting the shape down and moving things around in small strokes. I should be reloading my brush every time too. So let's see what happens if I do that. A little more, and I'm going to put there, I'm going to put that there, and then work that in. I'm manipulating the paint. I'm not blending it. I heard this on, I don't know, what was it the other day I was watching. Might have been, oh, I don't even remember what I was watching, but the word manipulate, meaning moving it around a little bit. And I'm not blending. Blending is where you are taking something away. You're smoothing it out and you're turning it and you're making it look flat, okay? So if you're blending something, you're making it look flat and you're erasing, you're really taking something off, okay? Painting is a positive thing that we do, right? We're putting some paint on. Sometimes we have to take stuff off. That's all right. That's part of the process. But it's not about just, you know, blending the tar out of it. And we want to make sure that we don't just take away everything that we've put down, right? We want to put in more interesting things. If you want to blend, what you want to do is just add another middle tone between two tones. Like if you have a dark thing and you want to bring it up a little bit and you've got dark and a light, you put a middle tone in the middle and you connect those things in little tiny bites, little tiny strokes. Well, they don't have to be too tiny, but yeah, you just do that. So I'm going to put in a nice light right there. That's my light spot. That's the lightest light right there. This is a reflective light right there. And I'm sure this looks a little bit crazy, but that's not a bad start. Okay, that's not a bad start. And then I can add little doodads in here and, you know, mess around. I don't want to lose my red, but I also want to add a little bit of kind of an orange color to it. Now, we do different things too. This is kind of what we call alla prima painting, which means all at once. But when I'm working on things like my stallion, do you remember the one that we did I showed you last week? Boy, did that one turn out nice. Come and see it at the gallery. It's beautiful. You know, I will often do that in layers. So I'll let the layers dry. This is just another bit of transparent orange. But I will let the layers dry, and then I'll go in with a transparent glaze of color. Well, what's that? Transparent glaze means I'm using paint that is transparent, like my transparent orange, or yeah, that's what I'm using right now is transparent orange. Or there are a lot of colors that are transparent, including that turquoise that I laid down as transparent. And then I will add to it a medium, okay, like this stuff. This is Neo May-Gelp, and I will add that in a little jar, or you know, and put that on there, and then create a layering and a translucent effect. It's really, really beautiful. Do that a lot with portraits, a lot with, well, not with everything, especially things if I'm doing like copper or something like that. I will paint it in a maybe a little bit of a monochrome, and then I'll transparent glaze over the top. 3 days later, I will do a transparent glaze of orange over the top of it. Not regular orange, but transparent orange with the glazing medium. And it will just pop out and turn into metal. And it's just incredible. I love it. I love it. Okay, now I'm not happy with where this pear is, so I'm going to put that up a little bit and give myself a little more three-dimensional possibilities. Okay, so back into this. Got my proper brush going here. Oh dear, left that one in there too long. All right, this one has got, boy, I've been really beating my brushes up this week. I paint hours and hours and hours every day. I do, yeah. If you want to get better, you definitely need to practice, okay? You need to practice. So, you know, you think, oh, I don't have any talent. No, you just haven't put the time in. It's not always about putting, you know, being born with talent. It's learning as much as you can and putting in the time. And the reason you put the time in is because you like it, right? You don't want to do it. You're not going to do it. You're just not going to do it. You know, if you think you're passionate about painting and you don't do it, well, you're not really passionate about painting. You're just pretending that you're passionate about painting. Painting is an activity. It's an activity. It's something we do. Okay. So I'm just kind of basing in this guy, this little pear. I'm going to add a little bit of the orange and with some teal for the shadowy side. It's really, really dark. Okay. I'm going to lighten it up a little bit. Some orange with a little bit of white. There. Okay. Now you can see it. I think you can see it a little bit. Oh, gosh. Like that. Boy. I've got a big jazz number on this Christmas concert, and so it's loud and it's crazy, and I'm enjoying it, but it's, boy, it does take a toll on your voice sometimes. Okay, now I see this is a little bit darker. Now, what if I have this dark side hanging out up here? How am I going to make that look as though it's got a darkness to it? Well, I've got to put in a light behind it, and then you'll be able to actually see it. Won't that be fun? Okay, so now let's see if I can get you to see it. Here is, I want to go with a little bit of our gold, a little teal, and a lot of white. Okay. And so now here is the edge of the bowl comes out. And so now I'm going to put in a nice light value behind it like that. And I need to probably put even lighter so you can see it. I'll exaggerate it so that you can see the shape of that pear through what's called the negative shape, or the shape around it. And I'll just keep pushing that over. Again, we're just kind of experimenting a little bit. Don't be afraid to just play a little bit. We did a still life a couple months ago, and I did it on an enormous canvas, and a guy commented on the fact that I was leading everybody astray because it didn't work, it didn't fit on the canvas properly. Well, I was using it really as a chalkboard rather than like I was going to end up with a beautiful painting at the end. But I was using it like a chalkboard. It was pretty funny. I'm like, okay, this looks more like a yam right now than it does a pear. I'm going to drive you guys crazy with this voice. Maybe I should just put subtitles on. Yeah, that might be more. Okay, one time. Close your ears. There, all right. I think I got it. All right. Now I'm going to get into the bit of the orange again. We're going to shape this out, keep adding, and maybe just a tiny touch of red. There. Yeah, now you can see it. Now you can see it. And then this part right here is going to be in this orangish, a little bit lighter. And then I'm going to go in with, take out the yam shape. I'm going to take some of that beautiful transparent yellow, and we're going to make that come up there. Okay, there it is. There's the top of the pear. Good. And now I'm going to go in and put in a little bit of a lighter part. So I've got the dark, middle tone, and light. If you don't have dark, middle tone, and a light, it's not going to look three-dimensional. So over here, I've got this beautiful light that's kind of coming across the pear like that. And then this kind of greenish shadow down, or reflected light in the bowl, like down here like that. It's just a little bit coming out of that bowl. And I'm moving the edge of the bowl down because I'm realizing by looking at the pear that the shape of the bowl needs correcting. You know, if you can't correct, can't adjust, don't paint, because you're going to have to adjust a lot. That's the way life is. Adjust, you do the best, you lay it down the best that you can to start with, and then you put in all of your adjustments in life. Okay, that one's looking pretty good. Basic shape. Put a little bit of a light there on the top of that pear like that. Good. Now the next pear is more in the yellows, and so I'm going to really use that transparent yellow down here, and we're going to find where this pear, he's just kind of a squat looking pear. I'm actually going to start with the highlight. You want to, if you can, to do dark, lay in the darks first and then the middle tones and then the lights. But there are times when you just have to say, oh, forget it, I'm going to do the lights first. You know, there's no hard and fast rule that you have to do that. Just don't forget to put in the middle tones and the lights. Okay, now we're going to go in with the kind of orangish green. How did I get that? I got it with a little bit of transparent orange with a little tiny bit of teal. And I'm going to kind of green that up a little bit down here. Needs a little bit darker. Darker, so a little orange with teal, maybe nothing else. Let's try that. Yeah, that's nice. It's very close to the color of the bowl, so got to watch out for that. Like that. Now, the back of this has got a little bit of of a red color to it right there. And there's some red down here. Ah, isn't that fun? Cool. I got to watch out because I've got another pair that I'm going to throw in, which is going to be this dark red. That's going to come up this way. It's going to overlap like that. So let's put that red pair in. That'll be fun. Okay, just keep looking at my screen, making sure you can see this. Are we close enough yet? I hope so. Maybe I should drag it just a little bit closer. Maybe like that. Okay. Don't get dizzy. I think that's about as close as I can go. Okay. Oh, I got too many things tripping up. Okay, I know we're slightly at an angle, but maybe that'll be a little better. We'll see. Okay, now we're going to put in this red. Oh my goodness, that's beautiful. A little red pair. And it really is interesting coming up like that. And it overlaps, so it helps cut out that other pair. When you're working with red, wait till the end, especially if it's a solid red, because what happens is it gets into everything. It gets into everything. I'm also realizing that this is kind of a weird shape. Goes like that. Widen that out just a little bit there. Now, if I want to put in a highlight on that, if I put a white on it, it will look a little bit like, well, let's just see what happens. It'll get pink, a little bit pink. And so I really want to get into that orange color and brighten it up and make it an orange highlight, maybe. Let's try it. Like that. This is one that I would probably do a glaze over the top because it's a little bit hard to do alla prima. It's possible, but it's not, you know, it's not quite as easy. And then I do want to make this darker. There is a shadow part to it, so I'm going to take my shadow color, which is our turquoise. I'm going to add red to it. And I'm going to come down here where it's darker and make that kind of in a little bit of a shadow right there. And then on this side, it's got a little shadow there. My pears are still looking a lot like yams. That's so funny. Okay, and then I'm going to get that like this. Okay, then I have my, I'm going to reshape my vase since I messed that up pretty good. Like that. Restate it like that. I'm putting it in red. That's really helpful. It's supposed to be a little teal thing. Okay, so now I've got my little red yam, my red yam thing. I'm going to add some white to my brush, and I'm going to add just a little highlight here, a little bit here. See if I can get this to set off like that. I want to get some of the teal with the white, and we're going to cut out this shape right here of the back of the bowl. See that? You can fix it. And then I got to come back up here and find where it actually hits and put that in over there like that. Make it bigger. Adjust, adjust, adjust. This actually has a white, I'm going to put this down like this. This has got a white area on it, but we'll just kind of base it in with the teal and the shadow. The shadow is all the way under here too. It's really, really in the dark. It's kind of a chiaroscuro, dark, 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 and then it hits to the light like that. Okay, like that. And then we're going to put in some, I'm going to get some white paint here. I want to make this come down like this. This is just a little shape inside the bowl. I'm going to have to, you know what I want to do is get that thinned out a little bit. So I'm going to take my towel like that. Ooh, that looks good. And then I'll put this in like this. Little white area here. I can let this dry before I put the decorations on if I decide to put decorations on it. And then I have a thing here. Well, I was wrong. My song is still going. Oh, that's funny. Choking is my theme song. That's fun. Well, we're supposed to have a huge winter storm coming in on Sunday. That's going to mess up our little concert. I hope not. Last year we had about 500 people show up in an auditorium that holds 4. We had to go find chairs. It was crazy. So maybe a storm isn't such a bad thing. Now, we love it when you guys come. It's wonderful. We have a youth orchestra and an adult orchestra and an adult choir in our little town. We get together for 2 concerts a year. One is for the spring, and we have a lovely spring concert. Whether or not it's spring, it might still be snowing on the ground, but it's okay. And then we have a winter concert, and so we really kick it off. This time we're going to kick it off with a bunch of snow. Okay, now I'm going to take a little bit of, what is this? This is a gold ochre. And let's see if we can put maybe a little sense of gold on the top of that. A little bit of yellow. I'm going to put a little highlight right there. So some of that yellow, orange yellow with gold ochre. And we're going to just create the illusion of a rim. And then have it come out just a little bit there. And then I'm going to take a highlight on it with some white. Can you guys see that? I hope you can see that. It's pretty cool. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the back. So a little highlight there. So it looks like it's just got this beautiful shine on it. Now, you don't need gold metallic paint. Sometimes I use gold metallic paint for different things. And it does come in oil, but you don't need it for to make the illusion of gold. You don't need glitter. I like glitter, but you don't need glitter. No. What you need is a little bit of either raw sienna or yellow ochre and white. And then in the shadows, you can use a purple or whatever you use. I feel like my sound is a little bit off. Let's take a look. Anyway, so you don't need all that. Oh, that works a lot better. Hello, I'm back. Ta-da. Oops, I cut myself off. All right, so you're putting down a little bit of gold ochre or yellow ochre, and then you add a little highlight on it. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. I think you can do that. And then, all right, I've got a lot of funny things going on with these silly pears. Okay. My little potatoes. All right, let's pull this out. I'm going to give it a shoulder. Pull that out a little bit to where it overlaps in the bowl. And then a little bit of that orange there. A little red. Oh, I didn't finish the front pear. That's funny. Okay. Speaking of yellow ochre, I'm going to throw in a little yellow ochre into this pear. And now I need that bright, bright, bright yellow. Okay. Always helps to get your paint all laid out ahead of time. Sometimes it does. Sometimes. Sometimes you don't know what you're going to need. You can either lay it all out or get it out as you go. But it's a bit distracting when you have to keep opening up, tubes of paint and squirting things out. You can lose your train of thought. So it's nice to be set up. When I'm doing portraits, I have a very specific portrait palette that I work with most of the time. Okay, now I want this beautiful light coming across the back of that pear, like that. And it's a little weird. It looks like the Michelin Man, the little fat thing. Okay, a little more paint. You never know how much you're going to need, so it's probably a good idea to set it out ahead of time and set a bunch out. Don't just, you know, little essence of paint here and there. You want to put a nice amount of paint out so that you can find it. Yeah, I'm preaching to the choir here. Preaching to myself is what I'm telling myself. It's like, what in the world? It must be my abscess tooth. Yeah, I don't know how many of you guys have got Sjogren's syndrome, but wow, is this one ever kicking my mouth? It's you get all dried out, and when you have no saliva in your mouth, you end up losing your teeth. It's just great. People think you're on meth. It's great. Not great. No, not great. Okay, now you can really, I hope you can see that. All right, now what I'd like to do at this stage is I'm going to get a bigger brush, and we're going to look at, oh, I've got this lopsided right here, so I'm going to come down, fix that like that. I'm going to get a bigger brush, and oh, I got to check our time too. How is our time? Somebody get me a clock. Okay. All right. We got about 10 minutes. Okay. And I know sometimes it can get a little bit dull. All right, just a sec. Okay, this is a bigger brush. Now, I want certain things to stand out. So, like I wanted that to stand out, so I put a light behind it. I've got dark right here. So I'm going to now come in with this even darker. Whoa, that's really dark. Ooh, I like it. Can you tell that? Oh, yeah, you can. Good, good, good. Now we can really see the shadow there. And then that will set that whole thing off. This is a really dark spot that we're in right now. I'll put that like that. And I'm going to cut this pear a little bit with that shadow because it's an odd shape that I missed. I can correct it with the background color. It's awesome. I want this to show up, this light part of the pear to show up. So I'm going to darken it next to the light and lighten it next to the dark. So here is the dark side of the pear here. See that dark side? Okay, now behind the dark side, I'm going to really be silly, and I'm going to take as much light paint as I can, and I'm going to come in with the light paint next to the dark part and set that off. It takes it's a little tricky to combine the light and the dark into the background a little bit in order for it to work, because you want, you have this kind of merging of dark and light happening. So, I can kind of come in and have this dark kind of coming up into a middle tone, into a dark, into a light, or a dark middle tone light into the background. But I want this part to look light behind that dark, if that makes any sense. It's crazy, I know. So that means I'm going to have to squeeze out some more paint. I need to get some of those talc guns that, you can just squeeze the handle. If I could squeeze the handle, I'd do that, but it's getting a little tough. All right, so now I'm going to do this really, really light, just to show you what I'm talking about. See how that sets that off? Like that. So you use the shadows and the lights in order to make things stand out. Like this over here, I'm going to now take that, put that next to that red pear. You got a lot of different things going on. It's kind of a little bit challenging. Let's see if I put a little cloth down here with my paint. Yeah, like that. Now I'm going to get a little bit of thinner, and we're going to just really patch that all in. It's a bit monochrome still. I mean, I've got a lot of teal in it, but it kind of sets that yellow and red off with that teal background, and it's not bad. You know, it's not bad. So you have a couple of ways to do contrast. One is with the tonal value, the light against dark, and the other is with color, complementary color. So I'm thinking about how this antique red pear, or this yam, is opposite to green on the color chart. And the blue that I put on here is a greenish blue, or it's a turquoise. And so it really makes this part really zingy right there. And because there is this kind of green in the blue, okay, that's why it sets the red off. If I wanted to really focus on setting off the yellow pears, I would put a purple behind it. But I really kind of like that red pear, so I'm going to keep going with that. I might add purple later, I don't know, when I let it dry. But I'm just covering up this canvas right now for fun. Anyway, this is just a play painting. Probably wipe that off and then go back in and do another one. Okay, now this needs to go a little darker there. Put a little bit of a brown in there just to darken that. And then we'll darken as it goes back in. I like this part, don't you? I think that's kind of fun. That part right there really stands out nicely. Here's that little shadow there, because the bowl is going to cast a shadow right there. So we got to remember, a cast shadow means it's a shadow that is cast by something. Like that. So look at my monitor and see what that looks like. Anyway, okay. Now let's go back in a little bit and fix up those crazy looking, weird yam looking pears. Okay. Oh gosh, this is a tough tube to squeeze. Where's my paint squeeze tube assistant? Okay. Now, what I am missing are some major yellows. That would be really helpful at some point. I'm going to order some. I go through a lot of yellows because I paint a lot of large flowers. Yeah. We'll be doing another show of my flower paintings in the spring, and that'll be a lot of fun. A lot of fun. All right, so I'm going to go with the transparent yellow, one of my favorite colors. And then we're going to brighten up a few spots. There. And then this has got to be more yellow color. There we go. Okay, that was what I was missing. Like that. And then it'll come across like this, a little bit like that. You can start too bright sometimes and then not be able to get there. Because you can't move in any direction if you start with it too intense. And so that happens to be one of the problems that I find in my own work, is that I'll be too intense all the way across, and then there won't be anywhere to go. You know, you're just kind of messing around going, oh, I've already hit the lightest light or the brightest color. How am I going to fix that? Okay, a little bit here. I'm going to drag that beautiful light down across that, the back of that pear there. I could paint pears every day. I think I could. I really could. I need to practice. So do you. I haven't done them for a while. I think I painted 28 pear paintings one time. And don't forget, you got to put in a little bit of a stem too. Otherwise, they do look like sweet potatoes. Okay, get a little bit more of the red color on that. Red, orange. I don't want to put too much red orange on it because it will clash with that other pear potato. Okay, let's get a little bit of a there's a little bit of light coming down there a little bit. This is still quite dark on that side. I need to get it darker, believe it or not. So there we go. Now it's a little bit more like it should be. Woo! I just hit that with some turquoise. Oh dear. And when you have too much green, you add what? Red. Just add a little bit of red to it. That looks good. Can't even see that, but it looks good. I like it. Chop that down a little bit and there. Now that's looking better. Now I'm going to get some brown. I'm going to just do a little stem. Oh, that looks good. That helps it not to look like a yam. One that direction. This one goes this direction. Like that. I'm going to have a serious cramp in my back from leaning over so far in the chair. Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. Well, don't forget, you guys, when you're online, to leave some, leave me a message as to whether or not you're enjoying this, or you think I should just hang it up. Anyway, no, I'm not hanging it up. I'm going to keep working at it for a long time. Been at this for a long time, you guys. It's been, okay, now, see, I'm darkening that up. I'm correcting the values a little bit. Yeah, I've been at this, the video thing. We started with a camera about 12 or 13 years ago on YouTube, believe it or not. It has been a fun adventure. I love it. Even through, moves and all kinds of stuff. We have been doing this for a long time. I should say I have been doing this. I started out when my middle son was in high school, and he started this YouTube thing, and he'd get his friends over, and it was just a kick. We'd do a show once a week, and so instead of going out partying, they'd be over at our house, and they would be doing YouTube videos. Well, he went off to college, and my husband one night said, 10 o'clock at night, he said, go get dressed, and we're going to put this background up, and we're going to see if we can figure out what Austin's been doing, our son. Let's see if we can figure out what YouTube is, and we're going to make our own little video. I thought, my gosh, it's 10 o'clock at night. Oh, well. So I went ahead and I got dressed and put some makeup on, and we got my guitar out and started just singing. I sang one of my songs or whatever, and that was how we started. That's how we started. Brighten that up just a little bit there. And we did you know what I just did? I just dropped a paintbrush. We did one in Spanish, and we did one in English. And oddly, the Spanish music took off like crazy. I didn't look at it for a couple of years, and all of a sudden I said, oh, let's see what happened on that YouTube thing. And there had been like 10,000 people had watched this video on my Spanish song that I sang. I sang a song in Spanish. And the English one only had 250 views. I went, wow, that tells me something. There's really more of a market in Spanish. But I decided to go back and just do the English stuff because I'm not that good in Spanish. Okay, I'm getting better. I studied it a little bit in school. We did do one video in Spanish, an art video, and it's been very popular. It's on how to paint a wine bottle. So if you want to hear some really bad Spanish, now they tell me it's not that bad. The people who speak Spanish are appreciative of the fact that I'm trying. Okay, that probably doesn't look even because I'm sitting a foot off over here like this going painting like that. Okay. Anyway, what's our time? Oh my gosh, it's time to go. Thanks you guys for hanging out with me tonight, even with my weirdo face and being sort of in the dark. I hope you could see that all right. I hope you could. I had a lot of fun doing it, and I'm going to probably wipe this off and do it one more time. Yeah, I will. I'll turn on my big camera and we'll see if we can get a nice video of something similar to it. It won't be exactly the same, but I'll just probably wipe this down and get a really nice background, and I'm going to do it one more time. All right. But I like the way it's this little dry run started, and I hope to see you guys next Thursday. Hopefully I'll be here at 7 o'clock Central Mountain Time, okay? Not Central Time, but Mountain Time. Oh, look what I got on my face. That's special. All right, just a sec. Oh no, I made it worse. I'm having fun. Okay. Love you guys. Have a good beginning of your holiday season, and we will see you again very, very soon. Bye for now. Hope I can figure out how to turn this off.